America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sure, our reporter is on. Hey, thank you, Mr. Trent. All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Mike, make sure your mics are on, board members, so they can hear you. Roll call tonight. Everybody is present, so we have a quorum. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions at this time? If none, the agenda stands as presented. We are going to make one change in the presentation. We're going to ask Mike, I can't pronounce your last name. Hollabach is going to, we're going to actually move him down when we get to board discussion on the presentation that he's going to make for us under board discussion. Okay, so now it's public comment. Mr. Hill, good to see you back.
Thank you. And it's really more for my education than maybe one or two others. When I was looking at the agenda for today, I noticed that we're looking at DocuWare as a company, and I know them well, and I think they're a damn good company. A good fit, but it brought into question something I don't know the answer to, and I hope you can educate me. What are the policies on making sure that we buy local, buy American, and what powers do you have and don't have as a board to put the weighting when you're selecting companies to go down those routes? And is there any chance of putting something on our website that educates potential suppliers to this township of the procedures? A bit like, you know, if you go a supplier to Walmart, these are the procedures and this is what we'll do to help you become a supplier. It's really what I'm saying is, can we open the net up and benefit the community? And that's all.
Okay.
I just need some education.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, anybody else? Roy?
I'm assuming there's going to be conversation when we get to the truck ordinance, so this is not the time for that comment.
Yeah, we'll have people welcome to make comments on that.
Thank you.
All right. All right, anybody else? Turn your cell phones off. All right, Butch. All right. Everybody look at Butch as he's walking home. Okay. All right, so now we'll go right down to our consent agenda. Mr. Wensley.
I move that Salem Township approve the following consent agenda items. And in regards to the last month's April 11, 2017 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, on that consent agenda item of that meeting, it was Dale Converse rather than John Daniel who made the second. So I have to change that. And also there were a few more invoices that came in for the month of May that Kim wanted to get in there. So the general fund invoices on C1 is $127,000. It's going to go up to $131,341.17. So I have the list if anyone wants to look at it, but
Do you know which ones they've added?
yes, they're marked right here. So it went from 127 to 131. They are, do you want to know them?
I think yeah, it'd be good so we know.
Absopure Water Company for $61.55. Advanced Disposal for $48.70. And Alexander for $14.71. For Washtenaw County Treasurer, $1,887.50. And I think there was one more DTE for $70.62.
All right.
Okay, so now we want to approve the minutes of the April 11th, 2017 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. For disbursements out of the general fund, we have the check roster of $63,340.60. That's checks 26,722 through 26,768. We had payroll of $62,050.16 with Paycor of $193.64. The sewer fund, we had $6,271.01. These were checks 2003 and 2004. And disbursements out of the escrow fund of $2,036.75. That's checks 1706 and 1707. Invoices for the month of May for the general fund now will be $131,341.17. Out of the sewer fund, $6,809.08. And invoices for the month of May in the escrow account will be $4,694.50. So we have a second on that.
We have a second.
I'll second.
John Daniel seconds. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, would it be appropriate at this time for us to discuss a particular check? Or can we discuss that later if you and/or Mr. Wensley have some information about item number 25 under the invoices to be paid for the month of May? MMRMA.
We can talk about that now.
Yeah. Great. So your question is?
Well, I'm concerned about the amount, its impact on our proposed budget already for this fiscal year, and the ever increasing amount that we're getting charged by this firm since they're coming on board with us in 2011. And I chatted with Mr. Wensley yesterday and asked him if we might be able to have some history and analysis of how those costs are elevating and increasing from year to year. And if we have any current contract that we're obligated to continue with these folks, or if we shouldn't hold payment of this check and perhaps go out for bid, since this policy doesn't take effect until July 1st.
So here's some of the information that I've got. 2014, now this is in regards to our general liability. We had $27,845 payable to the MMRMA. 2015, we had $37,184. 2016, we had $39,494. And this year, it's $46,091. So it's an additional approximately $7,000 to our liability insurance. And liability insurance is impacted by the type of claims that get paid out because of liability insurance. And on your table there, I have the 5-year claims analysis of Salem Township in regards to liability insurance. And in the past 5 years, we've had 9 claims against our MMRMA liability insurance. In 2011, the MMRMA paid out $34,000 for an Open Meetings Act situation. These would be lawsuits that were against the township. So in defense of these claims, MMRMA paid out $34,284. The second claim, 2011 again, regards to another claim, paid out $180,407. This was, I won't get into the names, but it's a retaliatory termination. And if you would like me to keep reading, I can do that.
I think we can read for ourselves, Mr. Clerk. Thank you very much for
All right.
lots of background information.
But I would like to also say that all of these claims total $1.2 million. And I guess when you think that the amount of insurance that we've been paying, it reflects the increase based on the number of claims and the amount of claims.
I did have, excuse me, but I did have a meeting with MMRA. They came in, and one of the questions I did ask was, why our insurance rates keep going up? Basically, I think most of you have homeowners insurance, you have, if you make claims, auto insurance, you have accidents, either your rates go up or they drop you. So bottom line is, we are the underwriters to MMRA, look at Salem Township as a big risk because of all the issues why this current board ran in 2012. There was $1.4 million. I mean, think about it. I mean, last month, a resident complained about North Territorial that we paid, even though we paid close to $1 million and they didn't get that money back, but at least we got a road. So we spend $1.4 million plus on, and again, this doesn't mean that everybody who's listed in here, in fact, Mr. Trent, you're listed in here, $34,000 of issues that went on, the 457, we know about all the issues that have gone on in Salem Township, and this is the reason why our premiums are the way they are. And they assured us that if we keep our township, working with our residents and working with developers and working with people, we're not going to get these kind of legal things. We've had one incident since this board has been in for almost 5 years that we're dealing now with a former employee, and that's in the process right now. But again, I think we've got a good pattern, and again, we're more than welcome to go out and bid, but I would hate, if I was an insurance company, I'd almost would hate if I look at this form of all these lawsuits that have gone on from the past board's recklessness of spending our residents' money is wrong. And I just think, anyway, I think the board's done a good job, but I think we should pay it. I think we need to make sure that people get the idea that we are not going to be a township that's just going to be sued, and we're going to do right. We've got good legal counsel. We have a good planner that's on staff now that's going to make the right decisions and give us the right direction, and I think we're headed in that direction. So,
Did that answer any questions, David? Would you like to talk about anything else?
No, only just to make the comment that it looks like we're suffering the subsequent consequences of what we inherited a few years ago and the resultant impact on our budget going forward. And it's unfortunate because obviously when we made the switch to this firm, the premiums were much, much less than what we're experiencing today.
and we're starting to get some rebates. You know what the rebate we got? I mean, it wasn't much.
Well, 5,300.
5,300. So that should get bigger as, however that fund works, that we're in a pool and we should be getting. But it's funny that you did bring it up, because I did ask, but he said, the underwriters are looking at Salem Township and seeing that it's much more peaceful now, and that, we don't have a lot against us, but they look at the past and they have some issues. So and I think anybody who insured us would have that problem. So thankfully, they're still covering us. Okay, so we have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Okay, down to the road project. As you see, 6 miles. Some of you were late tonight. Shame on you. You should have planned it way ahead of time. There's no excuse. No, we're thankful that that's 6 miles of crazy road. And that project is done. Last month, the Board of Trustees, in our board packet, and even in this board packet, talks about road projects that we are going to consider. And I've talked to some of the board members, and we kind of picked some out, but we kind of like to go over them tonight. Before you board members, there are the projects in front of you, and I'm supposed to be making the motion, correct? Yeah. Okay. So here's, and also the road commission also came back to us and lowered some of the costs. And the reason why some of these costs are lower are because of the direct hauling right from the aggregate mills or whatever that's going to be bringing the stuff in. So they've lowered it some. So the first one we'll put on our list would be Chubb Road. By the way, Chubb Road north of 6 Mile is finally open. So it's been a long process. So that is open just north of 6 Mile. But if you drive down Chubb Road, you will see the ditching and the berming and the trees that are growing. That thing hasn't been touched in I don't know how many years. So our proposal is to do the Chubb Road projects from 6 Mile to 7 Mile at a cost of $179,800. That's to include all the tree cutting that's been growing. You got big trees growing in the ditches. Berm removal, ditching, culvert replacements, shaping existing surfaces, placement, 23A limestone, approximately 4,000 tons. And then we'd like to continue on Chubb Road, going down between 7 and 8 Mile at a cost of $133,700. So that would take care of Chubb Road from 6 Mile to 8 Mile. Then the other projects next on the list would be Brookville Road from Salem Road to Weed Road. That's at a cost of $67,500. And then Brookville Road from Weed Road to Curtis Road, which is $110,300. So that'll take care of that stretch. Then we did receive from the county, and Ken Schwartz over at Superior Township seems interested. He hasn't totally committed yet or hasn't signed his agreement, but they would like to do the Joy Road shared projects, which would include Joy Road between Curtis and Gopperson at it's $180,000. Our share would be $90,000. And Joy Road between Gopperson and Plymouth Road. Our project is $98,200. Our cost would be $49,100. So them are the projects, and then Actually, Mr. Converse has a motion on the dust control, which we kind of tabled last month, which we need the dust control, 3 scrapings, at a total cost of $39,659.40. And that's 3 scrapings and 3 applications of the brine. And so basically, the projects are at, let's see, so $670,000, 59 cents. I'm sorry, $670,059.40. And then we have our matching funds, which is $22,980, the state fund, but it's matching funds.
Matching is the premium.
No, it's a matching funds too. They're both matching funds, $22,989, and then the drainage match is $10,493. So our cost for these projects would be $636,577.40.
That 636,000 does not include the Joy, 2 projects on Joy Road.
Yeah, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
Does it?
Right there at the top. So as we discussed, before I make a motion on it, as we discussed last month, the idea is every year, we did a big project on 5 Mile last year, of the limestone and everything to try to bring our local roads up to par. And we did Salem, part of Salem Road up that way. And the goal is, as you've seen Brookville being done, is, next year to take Brookville and go all the way to Dixboro. And then I would say probably the second, and then do some other projects maybe on Tower. That's another road to pick up. Then the year after, really, they all should be up to par, where there's ditching and burning and everything done. So that's our goal, and then to keep on a regular maintenance to make sure that these roads stay into place and in good shape. Any other comments about this? Or, one other thing I do have to add, that we need to add to this, is there's a problem at Old North Territorial and Govertson Road. There's a lot of flooding there. There's a ditch there that hasn't been touched on both sides of the road in 30 years or plus, if you go over and look at it. So the county's come back and said for the drainage, the ditching, and everything that's got to be open there. Basically what it's doing, it's like if you look at Carl's parking lot, all the water is running into their parking lot from the road. It's a local road. It's not Govertson Road. It's Old North Terra. It's a local road, which is our responsibility. So the drainage on that project is roughly $30,700. So I would think that we need to address that, and I would like to put that into one of the projects.
Mr. Supervisor, in conjunction with what you just described with the drainage problem, would it not be an appropriate time to also resurface that road? And probably 10 to 12 years since that was repaved. It's showing its age now, and that was the road that I was going to suggest that we ask the county to give us a price on and see if we could do that this year as well, too.
Okay. All right, we can ask them for a price. All right. Anything else?
The Beacon Hills subdivision was chip sealed, I believe, 2 years ago. And I happened to pass through that subdivision over the weekend, and I think it's in need of some crack filling in many areas within that sub to maintain the chip seal project that was completed last year and the year before. That would be a minimal cost to have that done.
Maybe we can ask them about that. All right, anything else?
When are we supposed to hear about Missouri Road?
They are supposed to sign they have their township meeting on Wednesday of next week, I think it is. Or is it tomorrow? But they said they're really interested in partnering with us, so it looks like they're going to be. Northfield is not, unfortunately, but we're trying to push them. Actually, one of the trustees stopped by the farm the other day, and we need to try to talk to them and getting that project done because it's really needed.
Mr. Supervisor, are you not proposing that we do 6 Mile between Pontiac Trail and Dixboro this year?
Yeah, correct.
Any particular reason why we wouldn't address that one as well?
I've driven down it. It's not real bad. There's not a lot of houses on there. I haven't received a lot of complaints about it, but I think it needs to be done. But I think spread our money around and maybe look into the pot for next year or the year after. But I would say, after next year and then the year after, we should have all the roads covered. And then just for an update, Curry Road, which is a disaster, from 6 to 8 Mile. So our proposal, as we talked about last year, was to ask the county if we financed that project, which was roughly $561,000 to do that 2 miles. If we loaned them the money and then guarantee that we get paid back next year, that they would get this done this year because they have no monies to fund that. So we're hoping. We sent them a letter to the commissioners. They're having a workshop and they really are considering it. They appreciated the offer, and so we're just waiting for them. So that would be great. And once again, they're doing 8 Mile Road between Curry Road and Tower. And so that's another big section of new paved road for us. And then lastly, I got the word that they're going to chip seal from 7 Mile and Napier Road, where our township begins, all the way to Angle Road. They're going to cut out, they're going to do that this year. So they're going to cut out sections of the real bad area from Curry going west as it goes around Tower Road up to Angle, and then chip seal that and bring that road up. So actually, the question I asked them, I said, I don't understand, it was just done, the pavement on 7 Mile between Chubb and Curry. We're not paying for it, they're paying for it. They said, well, anytime you can get some sealing up the road, it's better. So they want to do it from Napier. Napier is starting to show, west on 7 Mile, starting to show some cracks in it. It's not that bad, but again, it's best to catch it so that these roads last longer, so they're not having to deal with roads. But once again, so it's on their dime, they're going to do it, and we're going to have, if they do that and do Curry, and then we just got a portion of 8 Mile Road up near Pontiac Trail, we're going to be in pretty good shape for our roads. And to me, our jobs up here, it's really about our roads, and it's about public safety, what we can do. That's what the money should be going for, and that's just what we're trying to do. So I think this board's done a good job of trying to get this under control because it was kind of falling apart. So, any other questions? Okay, if not, I am going to make a motion that we approve these projects. The total cost of it, if I can have my figures right, would be Uh-oh, that's 666. Okay,
Add a
So
penny.
you can keep serious.
what's that?
667.
Oh, thank you. See, I can't add very little. So the total cost of each project would be $667,577.40. Can I have a second on this?
I'll second that.
Mr. Converse seconds. Any other discussion? You're looking at me funny, Mr. Trent. You got a question? For now or forever hold your peace? Okay, if not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion's passed. So there's going to be a lot of work, but let me remind you folks, please be patient. Today at 6 Mile, people are out of their cars and wanting to fight each other. It's like, are you kidding me? It was funny to watch some of the people today. One lady says, I sat there for 21 minutes. And it is frustrating, but at least it's getting done. So the Hamlet looks great, 6 Mile looks going to be looking good, so we're making some progress. Okay, so the dust control has already been taken care of, and now we're down to the truck ordinance. We had a lot of discussion on this last month. I mean, before we can have some discussion about this, before I make the motion, or it doesn't matter? Want me to make the motion? I move that Salem Township approve the truck traffic ordinance number 2017-05-09-01 for Salem Township, which will establish and regulate truck traffic within the Township of Salem, to prohibit truck traffic on certain roads and to provide penalties for violations thereof for the protection, safety, and general welfare of the residents of Salem and the Salem Hamlet. Can I have a second on this?
I'll second that.
Converse seconds. Now there's time for discussion. If I could call on you, Mr. Plato, to give us the latest update and the changes that we've made.
Absolutely. We had considerable discussion on this ordinance the last month's meeting. Since then, both Supervisor Whitaker and I have had some direct communication with a number of the truckers and heavy industrial people within the township to address some of their concerns, and I think we've got to a point where we've done that. What we've done, we've got away from the axle, number of axles prohibition, and what we've changed it to, we've added the gross vehicle weight rating and a gross combination weight rating, and we've added the definition for semi-trucks, which means a tractor containing a fifth wheel. That's an important part of the additional definition. And pulling or towing semi-trailer or trailers with a gross combination weight rating of 40,000 pounds or more. And then, if you remember from last month, the only thing the township has added from what the county had established as no truck routes is that portion of 6 Mile between Chubb Road and Curry Roads. And there was concern, obviously, that there are some smaller trucks obviously need to get through there, needs to be deliveries to the grocery store. So what we have done now is the only thing that the township has really added as a prohibition is that section of 6 Mile between Curry and Chubb, and it's only prohibiting the operation of semi-trucks. And semi-trucks, again, as I indicated, they're defined as those trucks having a gross combination weight of more than 40,000 pounds and having a fifth wheel. So that should really limit the trucks that are prohibited from operating on 6 Mile and allow most of the trucks through there to do their whatever business needs to be done within the township. We also, in looking at the roads that the county had established as no truck routes, we created some exceptions for 3 of those roads, that being Salem Road between 5 Mile and 6 Mile. We created the second exception. The county had made that a prohibited truck route We have added in there acceptable trucks for local delivery to and from businesses located on Salem Road, the 5 Mile Road. We did the same thing with east and west 5 Mile Road between Chubb and Salem. That will also, the ordinance will allow local deliveries to and from businesses on Salem Road and 5 Mile Road. And finally, north and south Chubb Road between 6 Mile Road and 7 Mile Road. You realize there is a heavy industrial and other industrial areas there for about less than the first 2,000 feet going north off of 6 Mile. So that section of road will be prohibited trucks, north of 2,000 feet on Chubb Road from 6 Mile will be prohibited for truck traffic, but truck traffic will be allowed off of 6 Mile onto Chubb for the first 2,000 feet to enter those businesses that are industrial businesses there. I think that's basically all.
All right, thanks, Seth. Board members, any questions?
I don't have a question, Mr. Supervisor, but I'm very much in favor of the changes that have been proposed. I think those are good additions to what we originally had a month ago, and I think this is a good completion of this proposed ordinance, and will address this concern and help us improve the truck issues that a lot of our residents have expressed over the last year.
Thank you, Mr. Trent. If there's public that would like to talk about this, we can, now's your time to participate. Right?
I'm very, very disappointed that you folks within this township and the people before you and before you and before you and before you would zone a piece of property, general industrial, anything goes 24/7, and then slowly, over the last 20, 25 years, cut off every single road that we have to get in and out of this piece of property. I'm so mad right now, I can't even hardly stand here. I'm shaking right now because of what you people are about to do. First of all, you can reduce the truck traffic coming through this township and 6 Mile going east and Napier going north, and everywhere in this community, if you will, encourage local law enforcement to enforce the haul route in and out of the landfill. There is a designated landfill haul route. All truck traffic going in and out of that landfill has a designated way to get there. Nobody enforces it. Everybody complains about garbage trucks. The garbage trucks started all these little signs popping up all around all these roads in the last 25 years, 20 years since I've been here. It's all because of garbage trucks. You can stop all that by making the landfill and local enforcement enforce the way that the trucks are going in and out of the landfill. Kalo comes into town. All of a sudden, there's a big bunch of attention on gravel trains around here. We all got gravel trains, we've had them, it's allowed. Shutting us down because of the garbage traffic is not proper. I'm really mad right now. If you prohibit truck traffic through 6 Mile, you absolutely, positively must give us a way to get east and west through here, north out of here. You have to give us Chubb Road to 7 Mile. You got to give us 5 Mile to Curry. You have to give us something. You cannot just force us to drive 4 miles to the east in order to get north or west of here. It's got to be unlawful. You, Mr. Attorney, need to dig deeper and find out what you people can do. This property was zoned industrial long before anybody around here. There's very few people around here that were here prior to that zoning. That was a freaking gravel pit owned by Holloway Sand and Gravel that run through all of these cities, streets, everywhere for millions of years, till it became a landfill. The landfill has become the problem, and we're all suffering because of it. If you pass this motion tonight, you are definitely causing a huge financial impact on me. I have already lost a $100,000 a year customer because of these roads. I have a letter here from one of my customers that lives on a dirt road that won't even hardly come in and out of my place anymore. I've got all the guys up and down, Denny's Landscaping, Apex Landscaping, all those guys buy landscape supplies from me. They rent over there, they operate their businesses over there. Some of them are in Sackett's yard, some of them are in the other storage yard, some of them are right next to me in R&R's property. And they're getting tickets because of 6 Mile and Napier. And they can't get in and out of here. Your 40,000 pound thing is a friggin' joke. I only have one truck that I can run on these streets that's under 40,000 GVW. I'm just gonna sit down, but this is BS. You cannot do this to us. You're taking the property values of us and you're making it to a point where we're not even gonna be able to sell and get out of here. I'm supposed to be able to retire one day, and the idea was when I bought this property and built this business with my family, I moved my family here from Farmington. My business first. A few years later, I bought right over here in Salem and moved my kids here. They went to South Lyon High School. And now for what? Because a bunch of residents, I don't know if any of you people, who any of you people, I don't even care. You people move in here from the city, and then all of a sudden you don't like the trucks coming through here. We were here before anybody was here. The people before me. Same with Salem or Northville down here. Pulte builds all these houses down here, and then the township approves an elementary school. All these people move out here, and now you're shut everybody down, shut all the trucks down. You want to know why your milk costs $4 a gallon? Because a truck's got to drive 300 miles to go 2 miles to get the milk to the grocery store. My customers are pissed that I'm losing business, and it's just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I've had enough of this goddamn town. You people can all kiss my ass. Fucking moron.
All right. Sorry for the language and that, we don't approve that, but anyway, so here we go. Mr. Hacker. Okay, first of all, let me just kind of explain to the residents what people want to hear as far as, I understand the frustration of what's going on down there, but once again, we have to look at it. You sat here tonight and watched us spend $660-some thousand for roads. The gravel train trucks, the overloaded trucks, these roads are not made for them. So for us to be, to spend money on these
They're
roads.
not overloaded. These roads are supposed to be.
Mr. Hacker, you're out of order, sir. You're out of order.
You're saying that the trucks are overloaded. We are not overloaded. We were running legal axle limit.
Thank you for your comments. But anyway, so the roads, as we've seen them deteriorate around our town, is something that we need to address. And again, as far as what the plans are, we have a meeting with Washtenaw County coming up with our with the commissioners and that about the problem with Chubb Road and making it a Class A road, all-weather road that needs to be done to create a truck route so that the trucks can go in that way and come out that way. Right now, it's horrible. It's it's a bumpy road. It's dirt. It's just and again, as far as the township is, I feel the township has made some mistakes as far as when you have an industrial area, there hasn't been properly planned. You don't allow all the trucks to come on a road and have a dirt road. And that's been half of our problems. You see the mud that comes out, and it doesn't matter if people say, well, Kalo moves in, we came in with 40 trucks. I don't care if he's doing concrete or hauling dirt, whatever it is. It creates a problem on that road, and everybody has to admit, it's a problem on 6 Mile. They can sweep all day long, but if it's raining, not only is it dangerous, it's just, you can't allow it. So I think with Mr. Converse and myself, the county is saying, we gotta figure out how to get that road paved. And I think we're making some good progress with them so that it's slated that it will get paved next year. So then if you just can visualize that corner down there, so all that truck traffic, I mean, there's, I counted 68, somebody said there's 80-some gravel trains on that road. And I don't think you can close a blind eye to it and say they're coming through this hamlet where there's school kids, there's, they ride their bikes. If you come down here on a Saturday and Sunday, you don't dare go down here. And again, people have talked about it. We have to address it. It's not like you just, the roads aren't made for it. We got the houses and the buildings and the hamlets too close to the road. We have to do something for the people in the hamlet. And I think the noise and everything that's gone on in the last few years, it has to be addressed. And when Northville Township decided to put no trucks whatsoever on their end, then we seen the volume just go up. So they're not going through Northville, but they're coming down to 8 Mile, they're coming up to Curry, and they're coming right through here. And we've got to do something. So, but once again, I don't think it's an inconvenience, yes. But at the same time, if we get that road improved and make it an all-weather road, it's going to improve them businesses that are on that road so that they can work year-round. I talked with Mr. Walls this morning, talking about that road is bonded, therefore it's bonded all the way through. It's not for the landfill, it also can be used for the industrial. So, it's going to be a plus for the industrial area down there. So, again, I know it's not the best thing, but it's just the way it is. And if you looked at the way that whole area is zoned over there, it is kind of goofy. If you look the other side of Chubb Road, how you come up some of them roads, it's tough. It's a bad situation. So we really need to consider, and I appreciate people, we got to address it. So,
People
yes,
made your
go ahead.
decisions, no matter what it's going to do to my financial or
I
anybody
have to
else's
speak on
portion.
behalf of Mr. Hacker. I drew up a map today looking at this truck ordinance, and Mr. Hacker grades my driveway. Mr. Hacker can't get to my house from his business. I'm at 7 in Napier, and I'm looking at this map and going, how the heck is he going to get to my house?
Yeah,
So-
you can do the deliveries, that's an exception for that stuff.
Well, so then my next question is, and I've been here since we physically moved into my house in January of '99. And it wasn't until maybe the last 3.5, 4 years that I've had any issue with trucks. Where I live, I agree, a lot of what is going on has to do with the landfill and the Taylor situation. It's as plain as the nose on our faces, guys. And to compromise the businesses that are here that we want to support, it's unfortunate that you're cutting them off at the knees. So then my next question that I had was, who then will get an exception? Who is eligible for an exception for a special permit? And an overall question of who's going to enforce any of this. We do not have an ordinance officer. We do not have local police enforcement. It's all county and state. So those would be my two questions. Who is going to then get a special permit and who is going to enforce?
It's simple. Basically, once the ordinance is passed and it's published, our law enforcement, which they're on duty most of the days, will be able to enforce it.
Which is who?
The Washington County Sheriff. The state police also will enforce it.
You've got miles of road there. How can 1 or 2 officers, are we going to dedicate 2, 3 officers 24/7 to watch all these roads?
They drive around.
The one question I get
Yes,
at is, I asked him, he says something, I don't get it, is the 40,000 pounds, is that if you're, let's say, one of my trucks is 54,000. So if I was driving a 6 mile with my truck, but it's unloaded, it's not loaded, it only weighs 22 empty, would I get a ticket because it's over 40,000 pounds, or would it? No, it's not, it only weighs 22,000 empty, but when I do load it, it could have 30, it could have 40, sometimes it has 54.
As long as it's not a semi, correct?
It's not a semi, it's a
Right.
straight, it's a straight.
Does it have a fifth wheel?
No, it doesn't have
All
a
right,
fifth
then
wheel,
you're good.
as long as I'm under 40,000 pounds. Okay.
No, as long as you have a fifth wheel, don't have a fifth wheel, you're good.
Oh, so I can drive a 6 mile loaded
Yeah.
for 54,000.
Without a fifth wheel, yeah.
So if someone has a dump truck that's loaded with a triaxle, it's 54,000.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the garbage truck.
Yeah, that would be municipal.
Oh, so your quads, so you're basically your garbage trucks or tries, your quads can come through here, it's just anything with a fifth wheel.
Right.
I gotcha.
Maybe
Yeah, Bob.
explain Chubb Road, what it's gonna be when it gets done, as far as all weather means they can run year round, like.
Correct.
Correct. There's a couple benefits to that. First off, we're dealing with the dust that's on Chubb Road with all of the trucks right now. And it's the mud, and it's everything else that gets up and makes 6 mile. Gary really said it very, very well, is that makes that 6 miles dangerous. But also, I'm going to come back here and say is that due to how many people drive Napier Road between 5 and 6 mile is a dodging course. Potholes are so bad, that road is in such bad condition, you can't drive it. And I don't know how many times, how many in here have had flat tires driving that road? Everybody has. The issue that I have, one of the things that I am pushing on Chubb Road, paving Chubb Road for is because that will be the primary route to get out of here. It will not be down 6 mile and Napier. And not only that, when it's raining, how many people have been driving by and been splashed with the mud coming off the trucks going down off of the dump back down there to the point where you can't see. And if you don't have your windshield wipers on, it's dangerous. And that's what we're trying to say is that's why the primary emphasis has got to be on paving that road. And in paving that, it has to be a Class A service, and that Class A service has to run all the way down to Napier Road, not to the section where gets paid for that 1,000 feet. It has to go all the way down there. That will have to all be phased Class A road, which means they can run all the way they are legally able to do all year long. There'll be no time limits where they can't.
So basically that gives trucks on Chubb Road an opportunity to run year round, at least they get the expressway.
Yes. And also, the other thing that I'd like to mention, I mean, how many people have followed the truck out here, one of the gravel trains out here, it goes up here, goes on 6 mile, goes on Napier, goes south, and goes on 5 mile. They don't drive the other route. We can't designate that as a truck route because it's a gravel road. So that is why the primary emphasis that we're working on, trying to get Chubb and 5 mile paved.
And the issue is, that as you've seen at 6 and Chubb, is from the mud and everything that's gone there. Once it's paved, the trucks are gonna wanna go that route. They're not gonna wanna come out 6 mile. So all the issues that have gone on last year with the cable and the jackies and all them and all the, going on 6 mile, it's gonna clean it up. So again, some people think cable shouldn't be there, or the trucking companies are zoned that way. It's allowed what they're doing there. It's just what the ordinance says. And again, if we can create something as a road that's paved, it's gonna eliminate the dust, it's gonna eliminate the way the trucks are going, and it goes along the 5 mile corridor. That's a solution to the problem.
Who's gonna pay for this?
We're working on it.
I'm told that we can't pave Chubb between 5 and 6. How can we afford to pave Chubb between 6 and 8 now?
Now, we're talking about paving Chubb between 6 and 5.
6 and 5.
That's the truck route. And then it will be paved from 5 in Chubb going out the truck route.
Is,
Yes.
is 6 Mile between Chubb and Napier a Class A road?
6 Mile what?
On 6 Mile between Chubb and Napier, is that? a
It's
Class-
bonded by the landfill.
And so is Napier between 6 and 5 Mile, is it not?
Yeah, between 6 and 5. Napier. Yes.
Bonded all the way down
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Beck Road and
Yes.
Even if, when you get Chubb Road done, what's their west route out of town? How's the truck supposed to get west?
They have to go to the interchange, which would be, that's the designated route up Beck Road out to the M14.
The easiest way to go is take 5 Mile to Ridge Road and take that down to Territorial
Yeah.
and come back to
Yeah.
Goderson. That's the
And
way-
then
that's the way-
Goderson is a Class A
Yeah,
road
you
too.
can take, and get on the exit, just
Right.
Ridge Road, Territorial, Goderson into Expressway. That's how we do
Yeah.
it.
and there's a lot of trucks use that right now.
Yeah. I just go on out Territorial and go Pontiac Trail.
Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Supervisor, if I could just add to
Yeah.
what both you and the treasurer mentioned before. 6 miles is having been done recently. If you look at it now, there's already, because of the excessive trucks that are on there, there's a lot of excessive wear, deterioration, early deterioration of that road that shouldn't be there because of the heavy weight of the trucks that are going through there. It has
Yeah.
depressed.
Yeah. Phil?
Yeah, just to show my lack of understanding of things. Gentleman made the point that, with the help of our lawyer, that if he doesn't have a fifth wheel, he can run a 54,000-pound truck down 6 Mile here, right? Then why can't someone, I'm not advocating one way or the other, understand this, why can't someone with a fifth wheel run a 54,000-pound truck on 6 Mile? Where is the difference?
Their trucks weigh over 40,000 pounds empty.
Well,
No, I'm just
if
saying.
all we're talking about is 40,000 pounds empty, okay, fine, that's empty. But if you can run a 54,000-pound truck on a road, it shouldn't make any difference how it's configured, at least from an engineering standpoint, that's the way I see it. It sounds more like what you really want to deal with is weight limit than fifth wheel. But maybe I just don't understand.
Like a standard truck, well, a tractor and a trailer, gravel hauler, is 106,000 legal?
Yeah, Michigan specials, they call it. It's only state
Well,
union,
well, like
you can
they
haul that
go,
much weight.
yeah, your trains will haul 160, but I think a standard tractor with a trailer on it, a dump trailer is like 106 legal. So, but a train, like the trains that are going back and forth, they're 100.
That doesn't sound like
Like
what was
180.
expressed. What was
Basically, the
expressed sounds like
sign,
54,000.
and actually the sign will say, what we're trying to get will be, there'll be no trucks, there'll be a semi on it with just basically no semi trucks through the hamlet. That's basically what's going to be posted.
So all you're really trying to do is stop fifth wheel vehicles.
Gravel tractor.
Right.
Well, fifth wheel vehicles, they don't have to be a gravel train.
Yes, Sue.
I have a question on your definition. On your definition of a semi-truck means a tractor containing a fifth wheel and pulling it or towing a semi-trailer or trailers with a gross combination weight rating of 40,000 pounds or more.
No
So,
such thing.
what?
There is no such thing.
Well, so this is part of our definition. And if you're saying that there's no such thing, I also don't know where the 54,000 pounds comes in. That everybody's talking about, this gentleman up here.
Oh, that's what my truck can haul.
I know, but you're saying we can have them come down here with 54,000 pounds. When you have a truck that's rated with the gross combination weight rating, that's the rating on the truck, right? That it's not gonna carry more than 40,000 pounds?
But it has to have a fifth wheel also to be.
But it also has that fifth wheel, so for sure he can't come down loaded.
Correct.
or anybody can't come down loaded at 54,000 pounds, whether you have a fifth wheel or not.
If they have to have both the fifth wheel and be more than 40,000 pounds to be loaded.
The way it's written.
Well, this is the gross combination weight rating.
Right.
Yeah, my truck's just it's a straight truck. It's just like
Okay.
it's just got a flatbed on it.
I think it's important to understand what gross combined vehicle weight really is. Combined gross vehicle weight is the maximum weight that is allowed on that truck fully loaded.
Right, that's combined
Well,
everything.
That's combined,
And
that's
it's
not,
40,000 pounds.
that's not empty, but a vehicle going down the road, because Mr. Horton pointed out to me, and I thank him for it, when they go buy their license plates for the vehicle,
Right.
they buy a license plate for their gross combined weight.
Right,
And that is what's important, is that is what is the determining factor here. It's not what the vehicle weighs empty,
right.
it's
I
the
get
fully
that.
loaded weight.
Right.
And that's the point that I do not understand, because, you know, being again, somewhat a farmer as I am, just the point that I don't understand. You got this truck that's allowed to not have a fifth wheel. I got nothing against trucks without fifth wheels, by the way. But I got this truck that doesn't have a fifth wheel, and he's loaded at his maximum allowable, which is, sir, 50, 60,000?
54,000.
54,000, he's loaded at his maximum allowable of 54,000 pounds. But because he doesn't have a fifth wheel, he's allowed to run down this road. But, and I know the way it's written, I'm just asking you to think about the logic of it.
Yeah.
He's allowed to run up and down this road because he doesn't have a fifth wheel.
It's a
But
logical-
some poor sap that does have a fifth wheel and is loaded under 54,000 isn't allowed up and down the road. What is the gross vehicle combined weight? That's the maximum loaded, 40,000. I'm sorry, that's just, perhaps I'm just missing something.
Well, the reason we have that, they have that in there, because we have a number of dump trucks that need to make local deliveries. And if they may weigh 50 or 60,000 pounds, and we didn't want to prohibit them from being able to make deliveries in the township.
Now you're starting to make some sense.
It's really, in part, it's a volume thing, because we don't have a high volume of dump trucks, or trucks that weigh, in excess of 40,000 pounds going up and down 6 Mile. That's why we have the fifth wheel requirement and the weight requirement. So that's the trucks we have a problem with, is the high volume of semi-trucks that are in excess of 40,000 pounds. That's the reason.
So the weight really is an issue. The real issue is that fifth wheel and that trailer and maybe another trailer or whatever.
That's a big part of it, yeah.
Now, everybody does realize that 1-ton pickups and 3/4-ton pickups have fifth wheels too. And they can haul car carrier, transport trailers. So I just want everyone to know it's not just semis that have fifth wheels.
That's why I have a policeman.
Right. That's what your pickup is rated for more than 40,000 pounds.
I think even with, the ones that haul in cars, possibly,
No, it's about 30,000.
that's close.
Okay, Dan?
Well, you know, we can come up with all these outliers and whatnot. We got to address what's causing the problem. Semis are causing the problem.
Yes.
And they're not traveling up and down here empty. So that's where the problem is, that's what's causing the damage, that's what's zeroed in on. We can come up with all these outliers, this truck might come with this on it or that. That's not our problem. Our problem is the semis. And the signs going up are going to designate semis.
As long as you're making that point. Because the way the wording was, it didn't make that point real clear, and it started to sound like maybe
Well, it's never happened.
we weren't real sure about what we were trying to
Okay.
keep on.
Good drive.
All right, anything else?
Fifth wheel pickup,
All right,
I've got,
yes.
just for clarification, because of some of the comments Mr. Hacker raised, I just want to make sure this exemption for garbage trucks on page 3, and the fact that I think a lot of us have an understanding that there is supposed to be a designated truck route for garbage trucks that bring garbage to the landfill. So, help me understand, what does this exemption on page 3 mean regarding garbage trucks?
Talk about section D. on page 3.
Yes.
That provides that garbage trucks are exempt, but they have to be involved in the provision of trash pickup services only. So if they're delivering trash, they're not exempt. They have to be involved in pickup, which is going to be your local garbage truck going from residence to residence or whatever, whoever calls somebody for a trash pickup. But if they're involved in taking trash to the landfill, they don't fall within that exemption. That's why it's written the way it is. It's pickup services only.
And tying in with the enforcement issue, and if some of the examples that Mr. Hacker shared are true, then because we don't have a truck ordinance today, is it even feasible that our local law enforcement would be ticketing anybody at this juncture?
We have to give them, we have to have the signs up and give the individuals a certain amount of time to recognize the signs are there before law enforcement will start ticketing.
I guess that I'm perplexed by some of his comments that he's losing business if we don't have a truck ordinance that would affect his business as of yet. But anyway.
Well, because they closed, Northville closed their roads.
Yeah, but that wasn't our fault.
Well, sure it is, because the Northville closes roads because of the landfill and Salem traffic, which is our fault, not
It's our
Northville.
fault. We'd have to ask her why it's our fault. I don't understand why it would be her fault. Again,
If
it's been
North-
zoned for that use for practically as long as this township has been, since when? 1951, thank you. The landfill's been there for X amount of years. So help me understand that it's our fault that those trucks use those routes. And that in turn they were cut off from Northville for using those routes.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Thank
For the
you.
safety of the residents,
Okay, well, it complies everywhere then.
Yeah.
for the safety of the residents, just like you're doing it.
Exactly.
All
But
right,
it's not our fault. in
Okay.
my eyes.
thank you, Reggie. Okay. All right, anybody else? Yeah, Bob.
What's the chances of getting one of those electronic speed signs?
We're in the process of doing that.
Oh, like on Pelham and Plymouth.
Yeah.
So you don't even need a radar, you just sit there.
Yeah, they've, are working up some pricing for us. There's a lot of them online, but we need to put one at, the beginning coming into the hamlet, and then one at the other end, detects your speed, it's run by solar. It's not real gaudy, it's something that's kind of small, but it really alerts you to slow down as you're coming through this little town. Okay? Yes, sir.
With respect to enforcement, you mentioned it was asked about how often they can enforce it. Honestly, after you give them the allotted time, let the companies aware of what's going on, if you get the sheriff with a motor carrier officer here for just 2 days hammering people, word spreads quick,
Right.
and everyone knows if they come through there, and then it starts to pick back up, we can always have them come back. They don't have to sit there
Right.
all day long.
Right.
Word spreads
And again,
quick.
we're not, and again, this is something that everybody needs to get used to. I don't think we're ready to send Barney Fife out there and run up and down the road. No, I'm just saying that's not our intention. I mean, there's been other townships that have done this, and they can't wait to get out there and they've hammered people right away. That's not going to be our style. We're going to make sure that the businesses and the people who actually come to their businesses understand the truck routes, and that's going to be our style. Okay? Bill?
You're gonna get this thing when they show you the digital on what the speed is.
Yes.
And just as a matter of curiosity, again, how much more does it cost to get one that's got a camera in it?
Yeah.
That takes picture.
So you can't do speed enforcement by camera.
Well, you don't have to do speed enforcement, but if you got a license number and you got a speed, send them a notice. And they will soon tell their drivers, don't be doing that stuff.
Yeah, how do you get a license? We don't have license plates on the front of our vehicles in Michigan, so how do you get a license plate?
I guess it depends where the camera's tied.
Eric?
Yeah, I've lived down in 6 Mile in a short period of time, 10 years now. I literally have a radar gun that I use. I continuously get trucks 55, 60 miles an hour coming through here. I have a 10-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old daughter. I've been here since they were 5 and whatever age. I can't let them play in the front yard. I literally watch a truck almost grab a kid and drag it down the road because he's trying to go down the road. They're going so fast. I've tried calling. I've got expletives yelled at me. They don't care about, I won't say the company, but they don't care about the effing residents here. We're gonna do what we wanna do. I think it just comes down to respecting the community they live in. You know, if everybody just respects where they live and who's around them, and everybody's treated with the same respect, there's no reason to not follow the speed limit enforcement. I know people wanna get home from work. I wanna get home from work. But when you're taking people's lives at risk and you can't let your kids play in the front yard, it just comes down to respecting where you live in the county you live in and the city you live in. And, you know, they've opened up our ditches. They've done a fine job on this road. They've opened up the ditches really wide. There's literally about 6 inches between my ditch and the road in front of my house. The water is eroding it away constantly, over and over again. It's probably moved another 4 inches towards the road. Trucks that weight over a matter of time, it's going to give way. It's just a plain fact. There's no room between the road and the ditch any longer. I used to have 20 inches, now I got 6. And the water's eroding it as it goes over, and it's a matter of time before a disaster happens. You know, I don't want to see that happen to anybody's property, anybody's family, anybody's kids.
Thanks, Eric. Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dietrich, your county commissioner, and I've just been texting with the county sheriff, Jerry Clayton, about some of the things that have come up, and I'll just read you what he says, so I'm not putting words in his mouth. So I have the utmost respect for Sheriff Clayton. So there was a question about enforcement. There are 2 deputies assigned for Salem, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. And he said basically it could do anything basically the township wanted. He suggested Superior and Lodi townships have actually purchased their own scales. He says he has deputies who are trained in this kind of enforcement, but they're just not currently assigned to Salem, but that would be easy to do. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Nice to have you here tonight.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Furman.
Gary, what is the load limit on this road? Is it a Class A or is it a Class B? Or, because a Class A load, they can haul more. And when you talk 40,000 pounds, you know, and then they've got, the state says you gotta have so many feet between the axles to get a certain pounds. Do you know what that says? Is this a Class A road or is it a Class B?
I don't think this is a Class A road.
It's Class A.
It's not.
No. It's not. Well, then the weights are gonna be different on
Right.
Class A than they are on Class B.
Right. Correct. Okay, anyone else? Okay, if not, I made the motion. We have a second, right, from Mr. Converse? Correct. How about a roll call vote, Mr. Wesley? Can we do that?
This is for the truck traffic ordinance, 2017-05-0901. Converse?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes.
DeLuca?
No.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trent?
Yes.
Wensley, yes. Whitaker?
Yes. Okay. All right, moving forward here. We have expenditure report. Chief Rockwell?
Yes, sir. Just have a few things. It was a light month last month with 25 calls. We had one mutual aid request from Lyon Township with a structure fire, a fairly large structure that was involved. So we assisted Lyon Township with that. The county has activated or has now a water rescue team, a swift water rescue team, although that probably is not so practical for Salem. We do have some water bodies within our township that hopefully won't have to call upon them, but they are trained in both technical rescue, rope rescue, swift water rescue, and anything related to the water. So we've got a team now within the county that we can call upon. Burn season's upon us. Please make sure you get your burn permits, and we ask that, the burn permit's probably pretty liberal. We ask that you just follow the procedures and be respectful of your neighbors. And then lastly, it looks like the county grant that we participated in, we're going to be successful, and we're going to probably look at getting an automatic CPR machine, which means that you can put a patient in this machine, push a button, and it does CPR correctly, continuously until you get to the hospital. The city of Ann Arbor has, I believe, been field testing these, and they've had some pretty good saves with these. Not let me say pretty good, remarkable saves with them. So if it goes in there, just about every department in the county will get one of these. They're about $14,000 to $17,000 a piece. So they're not cheap. So if we do get the grant, it would be a 10% match on the township's part, which would also include 2 extra AEDs. Not extra, but 2 additional AEDs. So we'd have about $2,000, $3,000 part that we would have to be part of the grant, and we get about $23,000 worth of equipment. So it looks like that's going to come from FEMA, so I'm excited to see that equipment here. I think it'll be a great resource because we do get quite a bit of heart attacks, unfortunately, in the township.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, moving on down to board discussion. Mike, you're on. Sorry about the, I thought I might have been a little quicker, but Mike is, Del, do you want to?
Hello.
Well, let's just have Mike maybe explain a little bit about, are you familiar with where we've come, with alchemy and all that? So maybe you can just kind of
I was
explain.
filled in from Kevin Savetsky with Ameriscan Imaging, yes.
Yeah, go ahead and just give us a little update on that.
So I guess I'll stand out here and...
Yeah, it's fine, you can.
Okay, so my name is Mike Hellebuck. I'm the Senior Director of Sales for DocuWare Corporation. I live in Warren, Michigan. DocuWare is a German-based software company, obviously with U.S. headquarters in Newburgh, New York. The 2 owners or presidents of DocuWare, one lives in New York and one lives in Germany. So I appreciate the comments from earlier. However, where you guys are at right now, you're using a product called Alchemy, which is a very outdated piece of technology, all right, from a software standpoint. Comments earlier today about lawsuits from previous generations within the township, right? And technology like what we have with content management or enterprise content management can help afford the township to protect themselves in such situations. Technology was seen earlier today. Somebody was just texting next to me over there to the sheriff, right, and getting access to information. So what we do in the simplest form is we turn organizations paperless. All right, anything coming out of your system gets captured electronically and stored. If you don't need to print paper, don't print paper. All right, paper costs money. Save trees, green initiatives, all of that fun stuff, right? So it's about technology. Who here has a flip phone? Still, all right? Nothing against them, they still work, right? But why do we use these, right? Everybody on the board, I'm assuming, probably has one of these, right? It's a new world, it's the age we live in, right? So I can go into actual DocuWare from my phone, and I can approve work. I can approve tasks that are assigned to me that I am responsible to approve. So right here, I can go in and look at actual work for my team, open up documents, and approve them on the go. Now, we're talking about technology, so it's about saving money, saving time, and reducing exposure and costs to the township. All right. So, in the simplest standpoint, storing and retrieving documents. All right. Being able to, from the attorney standpoint, being able to pull information. Somebody comes in for a FOIA request and asks for, hey, I spent $50 on from a check from 15, 20 years ago. I want a copy of all this information. Very simply, I can do a search in the system and pull everything based on a road, a property, a subdivision, or just by keyword searching and have a list or a result list of all of the content related to that transaction. All right. So it's being able to access content instantly, being able to access content Chromium mobile devices, being able to provide web-facing forms for constituents to enter information. Maybe I'm going to request a building permit or a license or a dog license and access it. Now, this is down the road, right? But what we're talking at this point is just simply storing and retrieving content, but putting that stuff into a foundation to where the township can grow and add value to the constituents as you move forward, all right, within one single platform, in reducing costs and exposure and obviously ensuring the township for future liabilities. Now, I have a software presentation on a laptop. I can show you software from that aspect. I don't have a projector to present the information, but at the end of the day, we manage content. So storing, scanning the documents into DocuWare, and retrieving them. The Alchemy system you're using is outdated. It's very old and it's no longer supported, from my understanding from through Kevin Sabensky at Ameriscan, and we are one of the leading pioneers in the industry today for the technology. Questions?
Board members, any? So where are we at right now? What are some of the issues that we have as far as storing information?
The product that we've been using for 8 to 10 years, I'm not sure exactly the time that it started.
2009.
2009. Alchemy, and my deputy clerk has been unable to, Alchemy has had some sort of programming glitches to save the documents on Alchemy. And so it's not, and so what we did is we tried to call our Alchemy contact person, which is Kevin Sabensky, and he's basically saying it's a software program that's not being supported anymore. So we're kind of like stuck. So we've got to do something with continuation of retention of electronic documents, which according to the state FOIA and legislation, we have to use electronic retention programs to save all of our documents. So we've got to do something. And Kevin suggested that we go from Alchemy to DocuWare because that is a program that he uses, and we've been using Kevin, I think, since probably 2009.
So I'm done when it comes to, so you got to tell me, so this is just information from what, like minutes and information that needs to be stored properly?
Yeah, so it would be basically all of the accounting functions, spending money, retrieving invoices, things like that, but also all of the building permits and all of the construction documents. It basically, so it would help Bill as the assessor.
Right.
If there was a problem 2 or 3 years back, instead of right now, much of the document is actually physically in the attic over there.
I thought we spent $20,000.
Well, we did, but not all of it is able to, we haven't gotten everything scanned in, but I think, I'd say I don't know exactly how much over there is not scanned.
So, all right, so it's a software program, I think, right? That
It's software that manages.
Do we have any idea what kind of cost it is?
I have, yeah, so what we put together actually was, we'll call it like a competitive replacement discount, right? So we're gonna give you basically a very large discount on the software to unseat something that is really no longer relevant, but I'm not gonna worry about that aspect of it as of now.
Yeah, it was in everybody's packet.
Yeah.
Oh, the cost of that actually, okay.
The question I have, we spent a lot of time and we spent a lot of money with regarding to scanning a lot of that. We have Ellen in the office in here for a couple of years, and her responsibility to go up and get a couple boxes and have them scanned and all that stuff. You're saying that Alchemy, because that was scanned into Alchemy.
Correct.
How, You say it's no longer supported, it's no longer good, so how can you transfer everything into your computer program 100%?
Now, I'm saying based on what from Kevin's aspect, right, it's no longer supported. I can't say whether or not it's any good, if you guys still use it and it stores an image from that aspect. But kind of like going back to where I talked about the flip phones and new technology, right, or old cars to roll down windows, and now you have power windows. It's, if you're just scanning a document and retrieving it, storing and retrieving it, that's one thing. That's the alchemy world maybe that you've lived in, maybe you've been fine with that. It's no longer supported, meaning if something happens to that software, right? And I'm not familiar with alchemy because that's not my work, right? If something happens to that software, you can't get somebody to help you get that back. So if the data and the documents are in there and something gets corrupted, you're risking the liability of actually not being able to retrieve that content, all right? And how important is that to you? That's up to you guys, right? But I'm assuming it's important.
That's my question, because I would like to know how compatible you are of getting that old corrupted.
Oh, that's not the problem. So it's not, I'm not saying it's corrupted, so take that word out of it. In the event it becomes corrupted,
If you
it's
can't
just.
read it,
No, we can. We've converted many of those from out multiple systems. Basically, it's, you have an image, and then you have what we call a metadata file. So this is invoice number 1234. It's ABC Supply Company. All of that metadata we call the index values that represent that document are stored in a database. The image is stored actually on your servers here. We migrate and basically suck all of that stuff in and have a folder structure in our world that mimics all of that in a supported environment from that aspect moving forward. But not only that, it's just the features in the technology of the software itself afford the township much more things, right? It's up to you whether you want to use it, all right? The partnership that we want to bring to you is to show you the benefits and how you can leverage. You own the software if you choose to move forward. You own that, well, why not leverage it, all right? Why not look at it to save time, save money, add access to the constituents through maybe a web-facing portal to make life easier for everybody so people don't have to come in all the time. They can do things from the website. Again, if you want to come in, you can still come in, but you have the access to do things from a website. Water main break, take a picture of my phone, upload it to the system. It's now tied to the last inspection report of that water main. All right, it's there, all right? From a legal standpoint, I have access. I know who touched it, who approved it. If you go into the workflow aspect, which is a whole nother realm of who gets what, when they approve it, yes, no, and all. And again, we talked about earlier, you guys have mentioned about lawsuits before. This is a very easy way of leveraging technology to ensure the township of not really, really having all your ducks in a row when it comes to that type of a situation. So, to answer your question, yes, we can move that out of alchemy into that.
all right. The cost, what, 6,900, I think it is?
Yeah, 6910.
So all the office staff is aware of this, and they're saying that there's a need for this. Your clerk and?
Yeah, we've had this since October of last year. So we've had this mulling it around, and it hasn't been until about the last month to 2 months that Kim has been basically saying, no, we need to do something soon.
All right, any other questions for Mike? Mike, I appreciate you staying a little while.
Not a problem. I love to show you some software, but
All right.
maybe have a projector with me. Thank you.
Yes, we'll be in touch. All right, so moving on down to general township updates. Any of you have any updates to bring? I don't have a lot to bring. Anything you want to talk about? Anybody talk about?
I'd like to
Yes.
say that for once, for the first time, we've seen state police have some pulled over on Curtis Road for speeding. Hopefully it was a non-resident. Because they do exceed, as one individual was saying on 6 Mile, it's just Curtis Road has become insane highway since they pulled the signs here. And to even pull out my approach on Curtis Road, it's sometimes extremely dangerous. And I think the enforcement can only improve. People obeying the law.
I have a question about that. I was thinking about that the other day. Curtis Road is the only road in our township that's 55, a paved 55. Everything around us is 50. North Territorial, all the, all the mile roads, and why is Curtis 55? I just was wondering myself. I was
So we
thinking
want to go
60.
up, 60?
No, it's already at 70, so,
Well, the gravel roads are all 55.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as you have your car under control.
Yeah,
No, it's the deer that really
right.
get it.
Okay, anything else on general updates? Okay, no questions? Now we're down to public comment. Yes.
I'd like to know who amongst the board will be attending this meeting on Thursday regarding the solid waste plan.
I'm here, we're hosting it.
So two of you? I pulled this off of our website yesterday. I don't think it was there Friday when I pulled up my packet.
We just got it from the county on Monday.
All right, I would like to request a town hall sometime between now and the public comment period so that with proper notification to the residents, I don't know if you'd like to do a flyer or a postcard or something other than just a public notice in the South Lyon Herald, which I don't get, or on the website, which not everybody goes to, and let everybody know about all of the goings on regarding the solid waste plan, because it does impact us being the host of the landfill. And there are a lot of other programs and initiatives talked about in the plan that I think would be valuable to us as Washtenaw County citizens. And if we could all get together and talk about it and all be on the same page, have the same information, then it might allow us to make better choices going forward and allow us to give our own comments to the plan before the deadline.
Okay. All right, anyone else?
Yeah, I've got a question. It's kind of confusing. I'm trying to decipher between what we were talking earlier on chip seal and chip and tar. Chip seal, if that's what they did on North Territorial Road, was gone as soon as the traffic started going through. It blew most of them stones right over to the shoulder. Chip and tar that I've seen over the years, when the chip or the stone goes into tar, it doesn't move. So I'm just kind of wondering, is there a difference in the terminology we're using, chip seal and chip and tar? To me, it's two different things.
The chip seal that they use here is what they did in North Territorial.
It doesn't really hold.
Basically, the tar or oil, whatever you want to say, mixed in with the gravel that gets into the cracks, that's what they're hoping for. So that's Curtis Road's a perfect example. I think they did a double chip seal here about a year ago or something like that, and that's.
Well, it sounds like there's a little difference between
Yeah.
chip and
Yeah,
tar.
I think
and
you're right.
chip
Yeah.
seal.
Right. Okay, anyone else? Michelle?
Hi. Yeah, one of the reasons I came this evening was to, in fact, do you want me at the mic? Is it
Sure, you're
recorded
more
or
than
something?
welcome.
I have a nice loud voice. I'm a teacher, so you got my teacher voice. So I came to, in fact, announce about the solid waste planning information session that the county is holding here Thursday night at 6 p.m. There's another one, though, another two. There's one June 20th at the Chelsea District Library and July 19th in Ann Arbor on Wagner Road. So all of this information's at the county website, and you can also make comments, like find a copy of the plan, which is not finalized yet, at the county website to look at before the meeting. And you can submit comments about it for until I think it's July 18th or 19th. Joe, do you know? No? It's like 90 days from April 19th, whatever that is. So there's still plenty of time for public comment and information, but just so you know, the the county is required by law to have a solid waste plan. It hadn't been amended or changed since 1999, so it was a good time to do it. There was a 14-member committee that looked at it. The plan does not, right now, it's still a proposed plan, but it does not contain a provision for expanding the landfill. Now, the landfill has capacity for another like 8 to 12 years, so it's not like it's shutting down or anything. But if they wanted to expand it, they would have to go back to, it's not saying they can't expand it, it's just not under this plan they can't. They would have to come back to the county and go through the process of applying for that to happen. So if that helps at all. Yeah, the county website's really helpful. Look under the Department of Public Works, and there's lots of information there.
Okay, anyone else?
Yeah. Oh, I just have a quick comment about a little summer program that's going to be happening this June at Grand Valley State University. It is called the Boys in State of Michigan. It's basically a political science camp run by the American Legion. There's also a Girl State, where any of you who have children or grandchildren or know someone who's in their junior year, about to complete their junior year. It's the deadline for signing up for this program is May 26th. It's a very, it's a very, very good program. We actually have 2 alumni from the Boys State program up here, Mr. Converse and Mr. Winsley, and I went to the program this past summer. It's basically a civics learning program. It basically runs through a simulation of government. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that there's a lot of Legion posts throughout Michigan who have trouble coordinating with the high schools to get students who want to go. So there's always some open spots. And so me still being involved with the Legion a bit, I'm trying to spread the word a little bit and see if I can pick up a few more kids who might be interested in attending. So if anyone might have any interest in that, whether they have a kid approaching their junior year eventually or a junior this year, please feel free to contact me. I'll be putting that up and such. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, just have a comment. Our commissioner took, I had an announcement to make about Thursday night, so we are hosting the informational meeting that is set, so we want to encourage people to come out to that. The website, in case you want to jot it down, is www.ewashtenaw.org, SWP, Solid Waste Plan. So a lot of the information is on there, so we encourage you to look at that. And I actually serve on the committee, and there's been a lot of information, a lot of that. It's been a learning process, and I think we're going to host it, and hopefully there will be a good turnout for that, for informational at 6 p.m. on Thursday.
Website, please?
It's ewashtenaw.org, and that explains about a lot of stuff
You
about
can do a
this.
search and just put in solid waste plan and it comes up.
And then also I want to remind everybody, can you believe it, June 3rd is Flag Day already, so make sure you make plans. Fireworks, everything is here, so we want to make sure all of our residents are present, and we'll have a good day that day, hopefully good weather, pray for that. The other thing, last thing I want to make announcement is that this year has been a long year. Now for us, we have another grandchild. Our daughter adopted a Chinese boy. He's 2 years old, and he's brought into our family, and it's a big blessing. We got another grandchild coming in a couple weeks, so that'd be 12 grandchildren already. So we are really blessed.
Are they cheaper by the dozen?
Yes, they are. So we're having fun with that. So this year's been kind of a crazy year, and I have made a mistake. My darling, beautiful wife back there provides all these refreshments to the township at her cost. It's not provided. You get a lot of people come in and say, oh, the township's spending money foolishly. But usually she goes to Florida for the winter, and she's been here all winter long and all spring, and she's done this, and usually I say something before she goes to Florida, but she didn't go. I'm the only one who went, so I had a great time. You know, but it works great for the relationship when you come back. You know, when you're gone for a little bit. So, but no, I appreciate Sherry does a great job decorating hospitality at our farm. There's always something there, so if you come by the farm, just stop in. I appreciate all that she does for these meetings, and she'll also be providing refreshments Thursday night at 6 o'clock for hosting this meeting. So we want to thank her for that. So make sure you give her Anyway, other than that, I think everything was said. We're adjourned. Okay? Thank you for coming tonight.
You're welcome.
Geez, I want
Steve's thunder about the
That's fine.